Advocate Programs, better known as YAP, is advocating for and delivering evidence-based services for homes and communities across the nation, including right here in the Low Country. Today, I talk one-on-one with the Charleston Program Director, William Cameron, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. William Cameron, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here.
Oh, you're very welcome. You are the Program Director for Youth Advocate Programs, which is a national nonprofit advocating for and delivering evidence-based services in homes and communities as a more effective and racially equitable alternative to youth incarceration, congregate child welfare, behavioral health, and of course, intellectual disabilities placements and neighborhood violence. So what's new, what's now with YAP?
What's new and what's now with YAP is continuing to provide the services that we have been providing for the past 47 years in the communities throughout the United States, especially in the Charleston and North Charleston communities.
What is the biggest difference from 47 years ago to right now when you think of YAP in these communities?
Well, technology is different. Family dynamics are different. If you look at the statistics, South Carolina ranks fifth in the nation as far as homicides, and the problem is great in Charleston and the North Charleston area in those communities.
Where do you see the most youth homicide in those communities?
Well, it depends on like you say, in those communities you got socioeconomic, the poverty that plays a part in it, lack of community resources, the family dynamics. If people are not connecting, problem solving, if the social skills are not there, then it creates other situations and circumstances.
What social skills do the youth need right now?
Oh, communication skills, problem solving skills, conflict resolution skills, work skills, all these type of things. And, there's a lot of things that begin in the home. All right. But if the home is not, let me put it this way. If the home doesn't have the four walls, okay, if the home doesn't have a foundation, then other things take place. And as you see, it's taking place in the communities of Charleston and North Charleston.
What's missing from the home dynamics? I mean, it was a different story when I was growing up in the early 90s. There were certain things you did and didn't do, and you respected certain people and certain things. What's missing there?
So when we talk about the home, we're talking about a foundation. There's a difference between a house and a home, all right? There are certain things that, certain responsibilities or a description that a mom and a dad have. For most of these homes, they don't have parents, okay? They may have somebody that's, they may have someone there that is taking care of their basic needs, all right? Well, not even their basic needs, all right? So you think about it. When we were coming up, we had somebody there to hug us, kiss us, encourage us. With a lot of these young people that I work with, sometimes I ask them the question, or the staff asks them the question, when was the last time you were hugged? All right. When was the last time you were kissed? Do you all sit down for meals together? All right. How far have you been north? How far have you been south? How far have you been east or west? For a lot of these young people, they have not been a 25-mile outside of the radius of their homes. So if they're constantly being bombarded with the stuff that's in their community, the television plays a part in it, the music plays a part in it. And so if people are telling them this is how you solve your conflict, bang bang shoot 'em up type thing, or with a knife or cussing somebody out, it is what it is. But there are agencies, organizations such as YAP. That's why we are there to partnership with other agencies and organizations to change those dynamics for those, not just those youth, but we provide a holistic approach where we work with the whole dynamics of the family.
And what is the general dynamics of a family
today?
Yes, sir.
Well, I would say that the dynamics of a family today it has some glue to it because some things are taking place, but it's somewhat fragmented. All right. All right. Meaning that there is not a lot of happy things taking place there. There's not a lot of there's communication, but it's not a lot of effective communication. All
Mm.
right. There's not a lot of encouragement. All right. People have to work harder today. All right. While staff are in the communities, they're finding out that there's a lot of poverty in these homes. Okay. So if mom and dad is not in the home, or if dad is not there and mom is there, but mom is spending most of her time not working one job, but working sometimes two jobs or more to take care of the family. So who's taking care of those young people in the home?
Mm. Mm.
Right? Or if mom doesn't have education. When I said, I'm not talking about a 2-year, 4-year degree, or anything like that. If they don't have their high school education, that hinders a lot of what's supposed to be taking place in a home too. So as the parents go, so does the young person in
And
most cases.
in most cases, so what is the poverty index right now in most of these communities in Charleston and North Charleston?
I, it varies from community to community. I know that a lot of the families that we work with, they have a difficult time paying their utilities. All right, they have a difficult time paying their rent. They have a difficult time even putting food on the table. All right, so we have to connect with the other resources in the community to assist and support them with that. So if their basic needs are not being taken care of, I mean, it changes the perception of things for them. All right.
What is that perception right now?
People don't care. I got to get mine. All right. And even though individuals are out there drug selling, all right, other negative things in the community, those type of things.
Oh, you talked earlier, Mr. William, about obviously the lack of community resources. I can remember in the 90s when we had so many community resources, and most of that stuff is gone now. Where is it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a lot of it's still there. All
Mm.
right, but if you're being bombarded by other things, a basic simple life things, it's hard to connect to those resources. And if your communication skills are not the greatest, okay, it's hard to connect to those resources because it affects your self-esteem and things of that nature. All right, so that's one of the things that staff does with the families is connect them to those resources, even if it means role playing, because like a lot of times the families don't know what to say or how to say it. All right, so basic skills would be staff role playing with them what the family needs to say, or even taking the family to these resources. All right, so it's not just giving them a number. All right, because most times when you give them a number, the follow through is very minimum. All right, so we have to assist and support. It's almost like that phrase, we teach them how to fish.
Mm. Mm. I like that. Let me ask you this, Mr. William. How many families did you all serve in 2021?
The program had not started in 2021. This is a new program in the
Okay.
Charleston and North Charleston area. We just received the grant uh, I want to say last February, we received the grant.
Mm.
So we had to train the staff. We had to identify staff. The
Wow.
unique, this whole thing is unique, all right, because it's not just staff. These staff came from the communities where these individuals live, so they know how to relate to these individuals. Some of these staff came from the prison system because of the type of things that we're talking about. It wasn't there for them, so they reverted to other things that got them in trouble. But now that they have redeemed themselves on the right path, they're willing to give back. So we hired these individuals full time.
Wow. So we're in 2023 now. How many families do you expect to serve this time around?
Well, based on this grant, we're only able to serve up to 15 families. But understand this, 15 families doesn't seem like a lot, all right? But with what we do, this is an intensive program, meaning that we do more than a traditional program. Most traditional programs are 9 to 5, all right? Our program is out there in the evening time. Some of our staff are out there in the morning time. So whenever we can meet with the family, that's when we meet with the families. All right. So we do a lot of things with the family, not just with that young participant between the age of 10 and 18, but we work with the holistic approach of the whole family. So if you got 4 or 5 individuals in the house, we work with each one of those individuals, connecting them to the resources. So if that young person is connected to his home, connected to his school, connected to juvenile justice or something like that, we're in all those areas with them, assisting and supporting.
And when you do meet with those families, what is that process?
Well, the initial process is a referral, where our referrals can come from the school, can come from DJJ, can come from the community or any other agency or organization, even the churches. All right, even you can refer a young person who you feel is at risk. Then we identify if that young person fits the description of our program. Okay, and if that young person does, within 72 hours, we make contact with the family and we meet with them face to face, because there's information that we need to give them, and at the same time, there's an assessment that's done. All right, and this assessment is very intensive because we need to know certain things in order to help these families. We want to know about their family, their background, the dynamics of the family, and many more things, so that we can assist and support, so that there are no holes where they can fall through, no cracks where they can fall into.
And Mr. William, this might be a redundant question, but how many youth, right now are actually at risk here in the Low Country?
Wow, that number is pretty high. Whenever I talk to law enforcement, and the figure that has came up before is like 500 or 600 people plus, and the school system too. All
Hmm.
right.
Wow. And Mr. William, when you talk about those families that you all are serving, what is your target? Is it urban, rural?
Our target is Charleston and North Charleston.
Hmm.
All right, meaning that whenever those families are referred to us, because like I said, some of them come from the east side and west side of Charleston, all right, and some come from the various communities in North Charleston, from Chicora Cherokee
Yes.
community, Wayland community, or Dorchester Terrace, and other areas too, Ashley Phosphate
Right.
area.
Wow. And what are your clients' needs, wants, and hopes right now?
We're trying to instill hopes and dreams in them, all right, that they can achieve. All right, so what we try to do is let them know that your present situation is not all that there is. All right, so we spend a lot of time developing that relationship with them, trying to make an impact about it's important that you stay in school. All right, and showing them that there are other things in life that you can become. You got to apply yourself. Where you are right now is just the beginning.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Eh, You know, I want to talk to you more about this as well, and I want to get back to what you just said. But what cost-effective community-based programming has the organization actually invested in thus far?
Let me say that question again, sir.
Yeah, what cost-effective community-based program has the organization actually invested in thus far?
Um, what you're saying, what have we invested in as far as with the young people? A lot of time, all right? Because helping them to understand, you got to take it easy. A lot of decision making, all right? Natural and logical consequences of your decision making, mentorship, positive, healthy relationships, all right? Because helping them to understand, these are the type of things that's got to be part of your foundation, all right? If you want to succeed in life, all right? Yes, you're mad, you're angry. There's some trauma there, things of this type of nature, but you can overcome these obstacles, and this is how we're going to show you how to do it. So again, we're teaching them how to fish, okay, instead of giving them a fish. So this goes back to Yap's philosophy: do for, do with, and cheer on. All right. So everything is individualized that we do. What we do for one family, we don't necessarily do the same thing for this family. It's just based on the needs and based on the assessment that we do with the family.
And what are those success stories right now? How many families have actually come out with success stories?
We'll put it this way: none of our families, young people, have been shot. Okay. They're in school.
Yeah.
All right. Each one of them have a treatment plan. They're following their goals. All right. We're even working with these young people on family dynamics. All right, to where when we first started, it could have been mom and the young people just cussing each other out, doing all kind of things. Young person not coming home at night. All right, but if the relationship is stable, if it's functional, that's a success. All right. If the young person is in school consistently without all these tardies as was before, that's success. All right. If in one situation, if a young person, if we're able to teach them problem solving skills and they turn in their gun, that's a success.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So success comes in small steps.
Yes, indeed. And you talked about those natural consequences. What are there currently, and how is this environment, making that more, difficult for those kids?
Well, like I said, a lot of our young people are in gangs or gangs affiliated, or they're bullying, where they feel like they have to take a gun with them to school and things of that nature. All right, but we're showing them, no, 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 no. That gun can cause more problems for you. All right. Yes, these people may be interested in you, but when the rubber meets the road, it's a different situation. All right. Let me show you what your natural logical consequences are. The court system. All right, the cemetery, all right, or jail. So this is the reason for our staff being involved in their lives, the credible messengers, the violence interrupters. Because like I said, these are individuals who have experienced this in their life. So they come back and tell their story. They connect these young people to the communities. It's just like for myself. I didn't I grew up a black male, all right? But a lot of these situations that our young people are going through, I didn't grow up that way, all right? I wasn't in prison, all right? Or I didn't get suspended from school, things of that nature. But a lot of the staff that we have been involved in that, all right? So they can tell these young people that the young people will listen to them. That's success, all right? So success comes each day, all right. If they make it through that day, if they make it through that week, that month, that's success.
Absolutely. And talk to me, Mr. William, about those assessments. What assessments are you getting right now from those families that you're actually serving?
So, like I was saying before, this the assessment period is anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours. Now, the reason why it lasts is 2 hours is because these families have a lot to say. All right, and they have not had the opportunity to say or express how they feel about certain things. All right, so when we go into the home, all right, we're sitting on their couch, we're sitting with them on at their dining room table, and we are listening to what they're saying. All right, and we're writing this stuff down. All right, we are assessing them, we're assessing their environment, we're assessing the neighborhood and everything like that, so that when we get all this information, that information is brought back to the site supervisor and the rest of the staff, and we sit down and we process, how are we going to help this family? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Every family has strength. Everybody has strengths, okay? So we don't focus on the weaknesses, all right? But we focus on the strengths, and by focusing on the strengths, we bring those weak areas up to par.
And what are those weak areas that you're trying to bring up to par now?
Well, those weak areas can assist of a number of things. If they don't have no job,
Mm.
all right? If they don't have coping skills, drugs and alcohol plays a problem in that, all right? If they don't have conflict resolution, know how to resolve conflict, all right? Or if there's nobody there to mediate, then you got this violence. In our day, everything was fought by words or by hands, all right? Today, it's a different story. All right. So we're teaching them there's certain people you got to avoid. There's certain situations you got to avoid. You got to change your playground and playmates if you want to survive. All right. And let us show you, by you surviving, these are the type of things that can be in place for you. You can finish high school. You can go on and get your 2-year degree, 4-year degree. You can be that truck driver. You can be a nurse. You never been to USC in Columbia, the nursing school. Well, let us take you there. All right. Let us show you your future, that type of thing. This reminds me of when I was working on another program. All right, Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina. All right, right across the street from Wofford College was the projects, North Side. All right. I had 10 kids that I was working with who never been across this road to Wofford College. Whenever I took them there, you would have thought I took them to Disney World. I took them inside the gym. I took them inside the basketball arena. All right. I had 5 kids who wanted to go to college. It inspired them, it motivated them. So that's a big part of this program too, showing them something different, showing them what they can become in life. You know what I'm saying? Involving them in with healthy individuals who can assist and support them also, not tear them down.
Right, right, exactly right. And those days when I was growing up, we had the Boys and Girls Club, we had the YWCA, we went to trips to Calwins and all that, and on college tours as well. So that's what we really needed today.
Yes, sir. You're most definitely right.
Yes, indeed. And what else do you all want to show those families that they can actually do here on Earth and be successful at it?
Engaging with each other, communicating, showing love to each other, being there, supporting each other, being able when I say communicate, not yelling at each other, but talking to each other. All right. Uh, Being able to sit down together as a family and have a meal, doing a social activity together, whether it's going to the park or something like that. Charleston, North Charleston got the ocean right there. Go to the ocean, walk. You know what I'm saying? Say, I love you. All right. Don't say all these mean and harsh words that causes frustration, conflict, and things of that nature. So again, building a healthy relationship, it starts in the home and it spreads to the community, that type of thing.
I want to talk to you about some other issues as well. Congregate child welfare. Where are the higher levels of emotional and behavioral problems in Charleston and North Charleston?
Yes. Uh, Repeat that question again, sir.
Yeah,
I'll make sure.
where are the higher levels of emotional and behavioral problems? I mean, where are your staff seeing that in Charleston and North Charleston?
It's all over again. It's
Mm.
in the communities. Like when certain things are not happening in the homes, then other things take place. All right. So because of that, again, part of YAP's responsibility is to connect the families and the participants to the resources that are in the community. It could be mental health. It could be private counseling. It could be alcohol and drug classes, that type of thing. So uh, based on each individual's needs is how YAP partner with other agencies and organizations to assist and support these families.
And what are the educational outcomes as a result of congregate child welfare?
Well, I can only speak on what YAP is doing to enhance that. All right. Our credible messenger acts somewhat like a social worker. All
Sure.
right. So she's going to the schools to make sure these individuals are in school. All right. Every day because a lot of our participants have excessive tardies and stuff like that. They're in a lot of your alternative schools, so by being in these type of areas, backgrounds, and things of that nature, they have a certain mindset. They don't want to be there and everything like that. So our credible messenger, she's going to these schools. She's going to North Charleston High School and meeting with these individuals while they are in school to make sure that they're in school. So, I mean, for a lot of these individuals, it has increased their attendance record. All right. So by increasing their attendance record, that means that they're on track to graduate, and,
Yes.
and that's success.
Yes.
Well, success too is them being in school each day. You know, and while they're in school each day, that's structured time. So if that's structured time, that's out of the community. Not hanging on the street corner, anything like that.
That's exactly right. And I got to give shout outs to Principal Henry Darby, who was my teacher at Burke
Oh,
High School many
that's the
years.
man. That's the
Yes,
man.
yes,
Hey, that's the man.
that's
You need
exactly
to clone him.
yes.
Yes.
He's a good man, indeed, absolutely. I want to ask you this too. What is the typical graduation rate for people for these types of children right now?
It's high. All right, because there's a poem a long time ago my mom told me about. I wish I knew. It has to do with how a young person feel. All right, if a child lives with certain things, they can succeed. All right, so that's what we're trying to instill in the participants that we're working with. Continuity, consistency, and structure. All right, they have our cell phone numbers so that if they're in trouble, not just between 9 to 5, okay, in the evening time, they can call us. And based on the dynamics of the situation, we can talk them through it, all right, or we can go to where they are to assist and support them, all right. So they can succeed, all right. And right now, every participant that we have in the program, they're in school,
Mhm.
all
That's
right.
good. That's good.
You're right.
And Mr. William, this might be a weird question, but when
Go
do you
for it.
all actually get your phone calls? Is it morning or evenings?
Mostly in the evenings,
Mm,
but at the same time, we're calling them mostly in the evening too, because
yeah.
that's part of what our staff do. We have to do a minimum of one face-to-face and two telephone calls per week per individual. But based on the dynamics, it could be more face-to-face time. It could be more telephone calls.
Mm,
Okay. So we want them to know, and sometimes the participants have even stated, "You're calling too much." All right. But that's a good thing.
yes.
That's a good thing. All right.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And
Yeah.
going back to the schools, okay, obviously Charleston and North Charleston are growing at a rapid pace. So how do you hope to keep up with that growth with, social workers and more staff members?
Well, sustainability is so important for that area because even though the grant that we have is only 3 years, it's going to take more than 3 years to get things up to where it needs to be. We need more staff, all right, credible messengers, violence interrupters, all right, because our violence interrupters are the individuals who's in the various communities in the evenings, walking the streets and stuff like that, identify, or it could be that neighborhood associations have, or the law enforcement or other individuals have told the violence interrupters about individuals in the community that they need to keep an eye on. All right. So as they go into the communities, they're connecting with these individuals. All right. They're able to resolve conflict with these individuals, mediate with these individuals.
And how much conflict have they been able to resolve over the past 6 months?
Let me say it this way. Every young person that we're working with right now, they have not reoffended. All right. Or they haven't gotten into any more
Right,
trouble or
right.
anything like that.
Yes, sir. And let me ask you this. I mean, how many more schools do you all hope to go into going forth?
Now, we hope many more from because like this problem is just, like I say, our age group that we serve is between the ages of 10 and 18 years old. So this could be from elementary, middle school, and high school. All right. So the number of staff we got now, all right, which is four. Okay. Four people only can cover but so much territory. All
Yeah.
right. So that's why we're looking for other opportunities to sustain or generate more funding that will allow us to have more staff to assist and support in these endeavors.
And what's your approach to getting additional funding right now?
So we YAP is a great organization, okay, to where we have a grant writing department. We have philanthropy where we can go after corporation funding, private funding, foundational funding, and grants. So we're looking at other opportunities. We're looking at partnering with other agencies and organizations because the need is great in Charleston and North Charleston. All right, the families are, put it this way, I see so many great buildings going up. All right. I want to see the families go up too, instead of them going down. All right.
And how much corporate funding have you gotten thus far?
Again, this is a new program. All right. We have connected with a lot of your corporations down there and your private foundations, and it just takes a moment, all right, to get everybody on the same page. It's just like it took Dr. Hink and I working together for almost a little over a year to get that federal grant. All right, so we are still chugging at it, because like I said, if you continue to move forward, it will come.
Yes,
You
sir.
know,
And I know that your nonprofit advocates for delivering evidence-based services in homes and communities as a more effective and racially equitable alternative to youth incarceration, the child welfare, behavioral health, and intellectual disability placements and neighborhood violence. So, what services based off of your evidence have actually been effective thus far?
okay. What has been effective thus far is the young people that we are working with. All right, them not reoffending, okay, not being involved in additional. They a lot of the individuals that we're working with have gun charges, okay, but they have not received additional charges or anything like that.
Right.
Uh, they're in school,
Yeah.
okay. They're at home, okay. Uh, we work with a lot of kids that's involved with Department of Juvenile Justice. Okay, uh, we send them our biweekly reports of the progress that these young people are making. All right, there's no bullying going on. All right, so if we can do that with 15 individuals, imagine what we can do if we have more staff working in these communities to assist and support.
And what other support do you need right now, Mr. William, besides funding and
Mentors,
mm,
you know, church support, you know, more community involvement, you
mm,
know, um, because like I said, we work with high risk youth. When people see these young people, I've heard people even say they ain't gonna amount to no good. There's good in everybody. All right. So we have to make sure that we're putting our young people in position to succeed. All right. So it's not just what YAP can offer them. All right, because it's going to, in order for uh, the communities of Charleston and North Charleston to grow, it's going to take a host of agencies and organizations coming together to validate these youth and their families.
and quickly in 20 seconds, just 20 seconds, what other racially equitable alternative trends are you currently seeing?
Um, we're working with other cultures. This is just not a black and white thing. Okay, we're working when we get our referrals, because like I said, by our staff being in the communities, they have been in the Hispanic communities, the white communities, the Afro American communities. Wherever there is hot spots, that's where you'll find our staff.
And what are the other hotspots right now?
I mean, it could be the Ashley Phosphate area. It could be the Wayland community. Like when we get these news reports and things of that nature. All right, we have what is called a meeting, briefings and debriefings on a daily basis, and based on the information that comes to us, that's where we go into communities to assist and support.
William Cameron with the obviously with the youth advocacy program. Thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close Ups.
Thank you, sir, and you have a great day.
Likewise.